Brought to you by Podcast City Network.
It is time to play.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show. Let's go! A shot of entertainment to the head.
No doubt.
So sit back, relax, put your drinks up, and enjoy the entertainment.
Okay. Now we come to the payoff. Let's rock.
Welcome, everyone, to the Everett Lee Show podcast. This is the special in-ring report. I want to give a shout-out to all my followers on Twitter. You can follow me at the Everett_Lee, Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up. And, of course, PodcastCity.net, the official website and host of the Everett Lee Show. Podcast City Network, PodcastCity.net. I'm joined here tonight in this special in-ring report segment. NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 and WWE Money in the Bank prediction show. I have none other than with me my co-host Mick Shaft.
And my red Solo cup. Tell the viewers what we are drinking in this Solo cup tonight.
We're drinking natural ice, which we got right there.
Let the comments begin on that.
Yes. Before we move on to anything, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors of the network, the Podcast City Network. Podcast City Network, the official website, podcastcity.net. You can check them out on facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit that thumbs up, and on Twitter, send them a tweet at Podcast City Net. I want to thank Sports Sanity. Head over to sportsanity.com for your latest apparel from Podcast City Network. Hit the guys up over at sportsanity.com. Let them know that you want a Podcast City Network t-shirt. City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida, home of Draft Day. Head over to City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida, with multiple viewing TVs, indoor, outdoor seating, dartboard, pool tables, stage out back for events, and much, much more at City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida. I want to give a shout out to Atlantic Sounds off of International Drive in Daytona Beach. If you're looking for that vinyl record, the cassette or CD, Atlantic Sounds has it. Hit them up on their Facebook page, facebook.com/Atlantic Sounds.
They also provide posters and actual turntables and speakers in there too as well.
That's awesome. And of course, Telltale Travel. Hit up podcastcity.net on the front page and hit up Brittany Imler and plan your destination and that getaway you've been wanting to do for the summer. So head over to podcastcity.net, hit up on the front page to Telltale Travel for that destination you want to get to. And one destination we're going to get to is the in-ring report. So let's start it off.
1, 2, 3.
This special in-ring report, as I mentioned at the top of the program, this is the NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 prediction show and Money in the Bank prediction show. Me and McShaft's not alone tonight. I want to welcome from Second Rounds Podcast, the founder, Smooth Tommy James. What's up, man? Did I say it right like they do in New York?
No.
I failed.
You did pretty good. You tried. You gave me multiple smooths, so that's always nice. It makes me feel special. And I think that's what matters. That I feel special.
Yeah, it does. So how you feeling tonight, man?
Oh, dude, I'm ready to go, man. I had 2 interviews today, so I'm getting my ass back out there, finding myself a good job, and dude, I'm ready to talk wrestling, man. I got my Jinder shirt on, because of modern day Maharaja, so I'm ready.
Awesome. That is awesome, man. Yeah, we're going to have a busy weekend coming up this weekend, man. We got NXT TakeOver Saturday and Money in the Bank on Sunday. Let's jump into talking about what's going on this match card for this year's NXT TakeOver Chicago 2, man. It's crazy. There's a lot going on with these 5 matches so far, man. Where do you guys want to start at? Do you want to work your way up to the main title match?
Yeah, we can do that.
Or we could,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start from the bottom, work our way up.
Let's start from the bottom here. Let's
Just like I do with all my women, start from the bottom, work their way up, you know? Hit little bumps in the way, you know?
My girl just walked by. I just said that. She gave me a look too. Don't do that.
I want to address a rumor. We don't know if this is going to happen or not, though, but we'll have to wait and see at the time of this recording. It's believed that the WWE United Kingdom champion Pete Dunne may be versing the North American champion Adam Cole. We don't know if that's going to happen. Would you guys want to see Pete Dunne and Adam Cole go at it?
Not like this.
No? What about you, Tommy?
Yeah.
Because you want
to see that match.
Not yet, because
that could be amazing.
See,
Yeah, it
the
would be
fact
amazing.
that both of them have a title right now, it would be more special if only one of them had one, so then they could fight over that title. Because really, whoever wins and loses isn't really going to gain or lose much, you know, at this point.
I disagree, actually. This is more of Pete Dunne getting his revenge on the Undisputed Era. So if you're going to start with Cole, and you're going to work your way. He obviously is going to try to get to Strong, but it makes the most sense in this standpoint to have him facing, you know, Adam Cole, who's the top guy, who obviously set this up of having Roderick Strong join the Undisputed Era, even though he played it like it was a shot. I don't know. I think that would be a good bragging rights type of match. Like, you got a bruiser versus a guy that's just a fucking Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, right.
I love Adam Cole. I've loved him since ROH, so I'm a huge fan of it.
I'm still waiting for Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain in a 6-man tag. I'm still waiting for that.
It might happen.
It might
But where
happen.
does Bobby Fish go is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the tag match.
Well, in that case, they could just take Travis Banks from the UK tournament, throw him in there, and that'll be exciting. Or Flash Morgan Webster.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
That definitely would be interesting.
Love some Flash Morgan Webster.
One match I'm looking forward to, and I thought this story right here was a pretty good build for what they've been doing the last few weeks. We're going to have Ricochet versus the Velveteen Dream, man. And we saw that they had a match which was fantastic. And then it was interrupted by Lars Sullivan. He came in and destroyed both opponents. Then William Regal gave Ricochet and Velveteen Dream a shot at redemption and taking Lars Sullivan out in a 2-on-1 handicap match. That match was fantastic until Velveteen Dream's ego basically made him take Ricochet out because he thought he was, upstaging him, and he left Ricochet in the hands of Lars Sullivan, and he destroyed him. And so now these guys are going to have it out. And what we've seen in the matches with that one match before it was interrupted, we can expect this one to be all out. The stops will be pulled all out, because if the Triple H lets these guys go, it's going to be great. What do you think, Tommy?
I think this match is going to be a clinic. Ricochet is possibly one of the best high-flying wrestlers out there. And the Velveteen Dream, I love the Velveteen Dream, man. I'm a huge fan of the guy. It's Rick Rude and Val Venus put in one. How can you not love him? Except he's black, which makes it more fun.
Pretty much.
But for real, they are both phenomenal wrestlers. And in this case, I mean, it's almost kind of obvious where they're probably going to go, who's going to win. Because for some reason, Velveteen can't really pull out victories when it's on a pay-per-view, especially against big-name dudes.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think that's like, he's one of those characters to where he doesn't have to have the wins to really kind of justify himself. It's almost like when Bray Wyatt first came in, he didn't have to have those big wins because his character was so good. I'm really hoping they give them a good, solid, about 20 minutes for this match. What I would love to see is for them to have some sort of like double pin situation,
Right.
and then have it build to a triple threat world title match between Velveteen Dream, Ricochet, and Aleister Black, because those three in a triple threat would just tear the place down.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it definitely would be interesting just to see that these two just going at it with the high flying stuff. I was impressed with what Velveteen Dream pulled out of his pocket when he was going against Ricochet, man. He almost matched him, and he's improved so much since we first seen him hit the scene in NXT. He's pulled out all stops, and I just love this guy, and I can't wait to see what he does next.
I would like to see, before the supposed rumor of Leo Rush going to 205 Live, I would love to see him and Ricochet fight in NXT one time before he goes up to 205, because those two back in PWG had an amazing singles match. And I'd love to see it again in WWE TV.
That would be cool. What do you think, Tommy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty big fan of Lilo Rush. I think Ricochet is just 100 times better in the long case, in the long run.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
it would be just another clinic in the long run for that match. But when it comes to Prince Puma, you don't fuck with Prince Puma.
no.
No.
And-
no.
I keep praying that they do not move him to 205 Live when they finally call him up.
Yeah.
He needs
I
to
don't
be
think
a
they will.
main roster
That
guy.
is too big.
He needs to be like either on SmackDown fighting with AJ Styles, or like on Raw with Balor or Seth Rollins, something.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. No, he's a guy that should be holding a major title as like a U.S. title or an Intercontinental belt.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd put the world title on him.
not yet.
Like at all. I don't see that happening. But
No.
yeah, he's a monster. He can't go to 205. It'd be embarrassing for him.
Yeah, it would. In this match, I look at Ricochet coming out on top, and I could be surprised. Maybe Velveteen will get a win over Ricochet. To me, I'm kind of like divided up right now on who, but I'm looking forward to seeing the high spots in this match, man. I definitely am.
Oh yeah.
The next match on the card here is the street fight with Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling. This story right here is one of the reasons why I've been glued to NXT for months, man. For months. If you look at this right here, this feud started last year at Chicago. After DIY lost against, refresh my memory here, was it the Authors of Pain or the Revival?
Authors of
Authors of Pain. They couldn't get the tag. They lost, and then at the end you saw Tommaso turn on Johnny, and then for the whole year Johnny has been trying to get past Tommaso. When you think he's got past him, all of a sudden out of the shadows he comes back, and basically he's been a wrench in the plans and the gears of Mr. Johnny Wrestling, and this story has been built up, and this right here is going to be the final outcome of this. And I'm looking forward to seeing this, because on the last TakeOver special, it was fantastic, man. What do you think we should expect from this, McShaft?
Well, I can kind of see us seeing a very similar match to the last time they fought, that unsanctioned match. See something very similar to that. Supposedly it's supposed to close out the pay-per-view, just because of how behind the fans are with it, and the story that's been going with it. I think that this needs to be the last between them two, because if you keep going with it, it's going to burn out the momentum. This needs to be the final confrontation for them two. I think it's going to be, just like what we saw before, a lot of just stiff punches, kicks, ground and pounds, maybe a few weapons here and there by Ciampa. And I have a feeling we're going to see, Gargano come out on top, finally get that, revenge win over, Ciampa. But, the biggest question, though, in a lot of people's minds is, where do these guys go from here? Yeah,
exactly. What do you think, Tommy?
Okay. I think that they're not done anytime soon. I mean, this is a rivalry that can really freaking build and really go. I mean, Ciampa is possibly one of the best heels right now in the company in general. I mean, this dude is a fucking bastard. He is the Psycho Killer, as we all know. He is Psycho Killer, and in this case, because it's a street fight, Ciampa has to win. There would be make no sense for Johnny Wrestling to win. Because then what's the point of him attacking him? What's the point of him coming back from his injury to beat him up again? And he gave a great match, the last match that they had. But technically at that point, that was Johnny Wrestling's revenge. He beat him. He beat Ciampa from getting him. But now, this time in a street fight, Ciampa needs to kick his ass. It's going to be a good match, but he's going to have to find a way, especially a street fight. He can cheat to win easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. Who even knows what they can do with Candice? We don't even know what Johnny Wrestling's wife's going to do. She might turn. You never know. Like that's how WWE thinks.
That's a good point.
That would be something right there.
Yeah, that definitely would be something if Mrs. Johnny Wrestling turns. We've seen it before in stories.
All the time.
She turns on her husband and gets with Tommaso. Maybe Johnny Gargano, Mr. Johnny Wrestling is about to get that win, and his wife turns on him. Man, that would be a 180 right there. Because with this story here, there's been 180s and shocks that you wouldn't expect, man. And that's why I'm like glued to this story, man. I put this rivalry up there with the Rockers.
Now, the only thing, though, is that because these guys don't have, like, some sort of title, like, some sort of, like, little item to fight for, I mean, yeah, you could say Candice could be that item if she turns heel, but there's only so much that you can go as far as, like, a revenge match. I think that after this, they need to have something in play to where they're fighting over. Maybe, say, like a contract, maybe have Gargano come in and just randomly win the title from Adam Cole just to have something, like some kind of item from the fight over. Maybe even Candice. Maybe, they have to fight over, herself. Like the winner gets, Candice LeRae or something like that.
That'd be interesting. That would definitely be interesting. I'd like to see Johnny win it, but I do have a feeling that Tommaso will probably end up coming out on top on this one.
Yeah, he needs to. I honestly, like, when it comes to really good wrestling and people that are really comfortable with each other and that can put on great matches, I really don't think a belt needs to really be involved. Like, even if they don't need anything to be on the line. They're fighting because I hate you and you hate me. It's a simple story. They built it up perfectly. It's built so perfectly that you can put on just a phenomenal match. They already did it before. This time you could do it again, and you can just keep going with this. Now, obviously, you don't want to have it where it's the same match and the same match and the same match, because then we get an AJ Styles Nakamura situation.
Right.
But what I'm thinking is, you can do this match. You can do another match. Do a takeover in Brooklyn. They could do a freaking another match together, then let it die out, and then eventually they come back together to the point they have to fight again. It could be a belt, but in the long run, when you got two really great superstars, you don't need a belt. That's just another way. Honestly, that's lazy writing to tell a story.
I was saying, I mean, we need something to kind of keep the matches interesting. I mean, you can only have so many street fights against each other. So, like, I mean, the next step for them, if they wanted to have another, like, high-profile, like, gimmick match, I mean, you're either going to have to go with a steel cage or a ladder or something,
I would say submission match. Make the I Quit.
Yeah.
Do an I Quit match.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be
a match.
Yeah.
That would be I Quit match would be great.
I thought originally this was supposed to be a last man standing match. Was it?
I think it was, but they
probably changed it.
Yeah, creative changed.
Hey,
it.
that might be the next one right there.
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
Yeah.
That definitely would be great. Next on the card, we have the NXT Tag Team Title match. We have Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan versus the Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. One thing I gotta say is we saw on the last takeover, which we saw Roderick Strong finally join the Undisputed Era. Bobby Fish is out with an injury, so therefore he's filling in and he's carrying the gold with Kyle O'Reilly. And the Undisputed Era has made their presence known in NXT, and they've executed it so well. And Danny Burch, he's well known over in the UK, on the UK circuit. He's built up a really good name, and it's awesome to see him tag with Oney Lorcan, who's made a really good name for himself in NXT. And this is a tag team I didn't expect to come together right here. This is a really good tag team.
They had a good tag team match a few weeks ago on NXT against the Undisputed Era. It's pretty good.
Yeah, they did. Now, do you think the Undisputed Era is ready to drop the belts to a team
Not yet.
such as Danny Burch or Oney Lorcan? What do you think, Tommy?
No.
No, not yet. Not even close. Too soon, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they better hold those belts till WrestleMania. They better come up with those belts on. There's no who's gonna take. Oh well, that's the War Raiders are there.
Yes, that's probably that'll be it.
Yeah. The War Raiders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely would. So
The War Raiders. I just can't get over that name. The War Raiders.
I know. Well, you already got Heavy Machinery and you got War Machine, man. I mean, why would you need another, machine, tag team with a machine and stuff?
Well, Heavy Machinery can just drop that. I mean, they can just be heavy.
Yeah, heavy. Really good, another talented tag team right there, man. But, yeah, I think Undisputed Era is going to keep these tag titles for a while until maybe Heavy Machinery or War Raiders will, come up and face these guys. And also you got TM61, man, You got them, but they've come back. They've been around for a while.
They're injury prone, though, right now. I mean, they've lost their momentum.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, the Undisputed Era, I look at these guys that basically retaining the tag titles. I mean, I love Burch and Lorcan, but I think those guys need to tag a little bit longer before they can actually get the gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we got the women's. Let's jump into the women's here. We got the women's in the NXT women's title match with Nikki Cross versus the NXT women's champion Shayna Baszler. Now this right here basically has happened. Like this match was set just this past Wednesday on NXT, and it happened last week when we had Shayna Baszler going up against Dakota Kai, and at the end Nikki Cross coming out and getting in the champion's face. This past Wednesday, which was interesting when Nikki Cross came out after Shayna called her out, and basically Nikki's like, I ain't afraid of you, bitch. You want to choke me out? Go ahead, because she's nuts. This chick is nuts. This is the chick you don't bring home to mom and dad, man. If you date this girl. If you date a girl like this, you got something wrong with you. Now, Shayna Baszler, she's done pretty well, being champion after taking the title from Ember Moon. And there's not really been anyone to step up. Nikki Cross didn't even go up to the main roster on the main roster call when Sanity left.
Nope. And this is why, because they're trying to help build her here at NXT still.
Yeah, they are.
And
NXT
to be honest,
developmental.
Right now the NXT women's division is kind of weak, and they need Nikki Cross to stay there and kind of keep it strong.
Yeah, that's one of my next points there. The women's division has not been that strong with all the people. Like Dakota Kai, I was like, who's Dakota Kai? But she still has some work. And Shayna Baszler is basically just, you got Nikki Cross.
Shayna Baszler is pretty much what Ronda Rousey should have been when she debuted, pretty much.
Yeah, on the main roster.
This is pretty much what Ronda Rousey should be, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah. But Shayna Baszler's a badass. She's been doing great. And Nikki Cross is crazy. And I'd love to see Nikki Cross win this title.
I don't think she will yet.
Tommy? Your thoughts?
I'm going to actually have to go with Nikki Cross because I think they may have realized that putting the belt on Baszler might have been a mistake because she's really not that good. If you really watch her in-ring performance, it's not that good. She's very good with the submissions. Obviously, she was a UFC fighter. She's amazing at kicking. I've seen her live actually at a house show. She can kick the shit out of people. but her character is really dull. It's really boring. She just shows up and beats people up, which, that's fine and everything.
Right.
But I don't think the reason Nikki Cross is still there is because she needs that belt, and it only makes sense to let Nikki Cross beat her. I don't see her choking her out. I don't see Nikki Cross going down like that. And like I said, I really think they may have realized they made a little bit mistake for Baszler, because she's really not that good. She's not good on the microphone. I beat you up. Like, shut up, bitch.
I noticed that too. I noticed that too, because at times it's like she's trying to force the promo. When she's trying to do the promo, it's like she's trying to force it, but she still needs some work. And I'd love to see Nikki Cross, as long as she's been in NXT, get that belt and basically run with it, because it's like basically, if Nikki Cross wins the women's title, it'd be like back in the Attitude Era when they gave the title to Mick Foley. You wouldn't expect that. They give the belt to Nikki Cross, she's going to run with it, and I don't know what she may do. Hopefully she don't eat the damn thing.
She should. She should put it in her mouth and bite it and stuff. You bring legitimacy back to the title, because with Baszler holding it kind of like, I almost forgot there was an NXT women's champion, because it's like, it's Baszler? I don't care.
Right.
She's not that impressed. She needs a lot of training and a lot of work. Big person. They feel that she's a big girl and she could beat people up. Yeah, that's great, but so could Nia Jax, and her title run not that great.
Which we'll get to here in a little while, man. Yeah, we all agree. Nikki Cross, man. Nikki, get that belt, man.
I think Baszler's going to retain it this one. I think they're not going to give Nikki Cross the belt until their rematch. I think that what they're going to do, they're going to build it up similar to Ember Moon, to where, like you said, they've been building Shayna Baszler up kind of like a Nia Jax. She's this unstoppable, like force in NXT. Mm-hmm. So I think what they're going to do is, they're going to have Nikki Cross, come super close to winning, but not really. They're going to build up for a rematch, and then they're going to have Nikki Cross finally, win the title as she beat the unstoppable Shayna Baszler, kind of build it up. Kind of similar to what they did with Ember Moon. And then I think what they're going to do after that is then they're going to eventually bring Shayna Baszler up to the main roster and have her go after Rousey. Two former UFC chicks going at it like that,
man, that'd be something.
I think that's what they're going to build up to.
That'd be something right there. I'd definitely love to see that. Now,
and you realize too that once they call Shayna Baszler up to the main roster and she's working with the talent that they have on there too, it could help improve her quite a bit too.
Yeah,
that's what they said about Eva Marie.
Yeah,
right. She was trained by the Brian Kendrick.
I know. She took everything that she learned from Brian Kendrick and basically threw it out the window.
Yeah, she did it very good too. The sliced bread. Yeah, that was beautiful. Her slow motion version. Here it comes. No, bitch, you still suck.
Now we have the NXT Championship match. We have Aleister Black defending the NXT Championship against Lars Sullivan. I would like to have Tommy start on this one, and then McShaft, and then I'll end it.
So we're talking about Aleister Black. He is undefeated. The man is Tommy Mass. That's Tommy Mass right there. He's such a beast. And do I think Lars Sullivan is going to be the guy to beat him? Is Heidenreich going to really be the guy to beat him? No. It's if they have Lars Sullivan beat Aleister Black, I will stop watching NXT. I will lose faith in NXT, because that's who defeats him with the undefeated streak is Lars Sullivan. Anybody's going to break that streak, it's going to be Adam Cole, baby. That's who's going to break that streak eventually.
Well, Aleister Black's lost already. He's been pinned. When they were doing,
you get another shot.
When they were doing that, who was the champion? Who was the last champion? Was
Andre Cien Samus.
Was it him or?
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was. When they were doing the matches, I think it was Adam. I think Adam Cole beat. He pinned him in the ring. I think Aleister Black.
Oh yeah.
I think he's been defeated.
Yeah.
No, he's undefeated.
Oh, is he?
Is he?
He's undefeated. That was the whole big thing. Like he is undefeated.
Okay.
I'll even double check just to be sure.
But yeah, Lars Sullivan, you know, he's a beast. They built him up like being like the Braun Strowman of NXT. They built this guy up. I mean, he has been a dominant force, and I've seen him live, and he gets so many cheers and stuff and everything for being a badass. But Lars, I think it's a little bit too soon for him to get the championship. But yeah, if they happen to basically take the belt off of Alistair and put it on Lars, rumors a while back ago was that they're wanting to get Alistair up on the main roster quick. And this may be one way to doing it. We may see Alistair Black. If Lars beats Alistair Black,
Yep. I'm sorry to interrupt. I got it here. When they were doing the Fatal 4-Way match for the #1 contendership for the NXT title with Lars Sullivan, Gargano, Killian Dane, and Black, Gargano pinned Black in the ring to get his title shot.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, but a one-on-one, he's undefeated then.
Yeah, one-on-one. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Got
one-on-one. One-on-one, he's defeated. But yeah, if Lars gets the title, then Aleister Black may be moving up the roster. He may feud a little bit with Lars to get the belt back. If he doesn't get the belt back, then he's going up the main roster. But Aleister, I think also too, if he retains, there's so much talent that's there in the men's division that can go after Aleister Black. Hell, Adam Cole, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, man. There you go, right there, man.
I mean, they had a good
Gargano
match.
or Tommaso Ciampa going after him. You know, if they throw, you know, there's so many possibilities there.
Mm-hmm.
But if Lars beats him, then Aleister Black's going up the main roster sooner than later. That's just how I look at it, man.
The only problem with this is that Lars Sullivan's character is about as stale as Ryback. I mean, to be honest, he pretty much is like the less interesting Ryback.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about his gimmick. What, another, bulky, quote unquote beast of a man that's not even 6 foot, comes in and wants to destroy everything? I mean, really?
Yeah.
I think Black's gonna, end up kicking his head off and pinning him.
Right. Tommy, Black.
Oh yeah, Black Mass all the way.
Black Mass all the way. All right. Well, NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 is going to be an awesome pay-per-view. I mean, we got 5 matches there, 5 solid matches, and I think this is going to be the pay-per-view that's going to steal the show this weekend. Now, before we get into Money in the Bank, I want to mention a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
Hey fans, here at Podcast City Network, we have a lot of great shows.
We have a wide variety of shows that cover the landscape in podcast, a podcast for anyone and everyone.
Such as The Chris Garnett Show,
The Everett Lee Show,
ELS Uncut,
Super Radio Brothers,
Imaginarium with Scott and Todd,
Forking Around with Cody,
The Grimlock Show,
and Films of Classic.
And you can catch these and a whole bunch more only on podcastcity.net or on all of our great social media outlets.
Head over to facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit that thumbs up. You can send a tweet to Podcast City Network on Twitter at Podcast City Net.
So make sure that you join us for all this only on Podcast City Network.
Oh man, look! Podcast City got merchandise.
That's right, fans. We now have Podcast City Network merchandise. So make sure you go online to podcastcity.net or on any of our social media outlets, on Twitter at PodcastCityNet or on Facebook at facebook.com/PodcastCityNetwork. And get ready for all the updates because now we have merch. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
Money in the Bank 2018. We got 10 matches compared to what we just talked about previously with NXT TakeOver Chicago 2. It's going to be in Chicago. We should expect a lot of CM Punk chants during this pay-per-view here. We definitely should. Let's
I'm gonna
start
do it on my couch. CM Punk.
CM Punk.
Personality playing in the background. Yeah, I'm ready.
I am too. I definitely am too. Now, a lot of these matches, I'm like, especially with this match here. We got Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan.
Big ass.
Let's get your takes on this. Let's start with Tommy here, man. What Big Cass?
So we got Daniel Bryan and the Doghouse Man, Big Cass. See, I like Big Cass though. Here's the thing. I think Big Cass, he's an Edge lookalike. He's 7 foot tall, and I think it makes sense that he could succeed a little. Maybe U.S. title, maybe one day. But in this scenario of his Doghouse situation, I think it's time for him to take another loss. And this time he's going to tap out yet again. Because I'm going to be honest with you, when he tapped that quick last time, I was very surprised. Because you can't. He just got back from an injury. You building him up, and he tapped that fast. I was like, all right, this dude's in the Doghouse. So he's staying in there. Especially against DB. So Daniel Bryan.
I agree. This is another perfect example of how WWE has a big guy, good size, and they just don't utilize him right. He should be, after his whole split with the Enzo thing, and with The Miz being over on SmackDown now without an entourage, he'd be the perfect bodyguard / whatever for The Miz. Just like the old Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash kind of thing. Build him up with somebody like The Miz with good promo work, some good, high-profile matches, and then let him loose and just destroy people. Yeah,
I can definitely agree. I can definitely say that, Big Cass, they haven't, he was out for a while with an injury. He comes back, and now he got in trouble. Of course, he was in Doghouse, and now it's, I don't feel Big Cass. I just don't feel, because I still feel he needs a work and just the right type of rivalry. And behind the scenes, he was ecstatic and happy getting to work with a guy like Daniel Bryan and basically wanting the crowd to hate him so much that Daniel Bryan's going to get, more cheers. Well, of course, Daniel Bryan is, because Daniel Bryan, to me, is the face of WWE. And I look, DB is going to win. Daniel Bryan.
He's essentially the next, I should say, Gene Snitsky / Matt Morgan, pretty much. Big guy. They don't know what to do.
I wouldn't put him that low.
Hey, it's not his fault.
Let's throw this in there.
Damn.
It's not. And the next match on the card, we have Mr. Uber driver Sami Zayn versus Mr.
I can't do a suplex Bobby Lashley.
McShaft, just all right. We already know how you feel about Bobby Lashley, but let's hear it. Let Tommy hear it. I don't think Tommy's heard it. So
here we have a waste of time and contract money right here. Okay, the giant Raisinette comes back. Okay, the dude's botching basic suplexes all over the place. Okay, the guy can't cut a promo to save his life. He's drawing like no money. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking about bringing this guy back. The only thing that's going to save this guy's career right now is fighting someone like Sami Zayn who actually has talent.
Yeah.
Pretty much, Bobby Lashley, you're going to see suplex, clothesline, spear, no promo, and then like a little smirk on his face, maybe a little headband or something like that on his head, and that's all you're going to see. His time and impact as heavyweight champion proved this dude does not need to be anywhere near a title and needs to retire from wrestling, stick to MMA, and unfortunately, WWE once again makes a bad decision about bringing this guy back.
Your thoughts, Tommy?
You, I mean, but I have to agree. I mean, Bobby Lashley is. I wouldn't say he's a waste. He is very talented. It's just he's not utilizing his talent the way he should. I mean, you know, botching suplexes is pretty bad for a guy that probably should be doing Suplex City. And
Yeah, right.
I mean, he is the Black Brock Lesnar. Let's be real. His promos have always been shit. Even in TNA, you were like, you still don't got it, dude. But you know what? It's good to see him back in the long run because I think he deserves at least another push because they really fucking dicked him last time. I mean, this guy is a college wrestler, so he does have the technician skills. But they have to use him correctly. He's a powerhouse dude. He needs to stay that way. And I wouldn't put a belt on him, though.
Yeah.
Not at all. So Sami Zayn right now is just in the way, and he's gonna get a spear. He's going to get a Dominator, and that's how it's going to end.
If they wanted to have some big muscly guy come in like that, they could have just hired Brian Cage, and things would have been phenomenal. The dude could even moonsault, you know? But instead we get...
Isn't he coming? Isn't, like, there a rumor?
No, there was, like, about 6-7 months ago or so, but he never signed with them because he actually signed the Impact instead because they were doing the whole partnership with Lucha Underground. So he's doing both like Lucha Underground, Impact, and I think like a couple of indies or something like that.
Maybe they should get Moose.
I mean, Moose would have been awesome. I would love to see Moose. But instead we get the Elk, Bobby Lashley. I mean, you know... It's like I would rather have seen the return of Batista again. Okay, I would rather have seen Batista come out for like the 5th return in his tight pants, rip the crotch again, than to have Bobby Lashley out here.
Honestly, yeah, Bobby Lashley. He's basically going to like demolish.
I mean, think about this way, okay? The amount of money they're probably paying Bobby Lashley, they could have paid like Jeff Cobb or somebody to come in here and just blow everyone's minds away, you know? Yeah. But instead, we get the giant raisinette.
we do. Now
the Sultan of sweatbands. He wears like a headband, 2 on his arms, like on his legs. I mean, that's all he does. It's like, dude, you're not even sweating that much.
I know. What the hell is up with the sweatband, man? He wears
Zumba over here.
I'm like, really? It's like just rip it off and just get rid of it. You know, it's just weird. You know, it's like during this rivalry, you know, Sammy pokes fun at Bobby on Monday Night Raw. Bobby comes out instead of being all mad and stuff. He's all happy, he's smiling. It's like, quit fucking smiling, man. Get in there, big boot, spear him, suplex, botch it, and then be done with it, man. You know. I mean, come on. You know, yeah, I look at Bobby just destroying Sammy and then just moving on.
That needs
this
to
is
be
a quick squash match.
That needs to be Bobby Lashley's next T-shirt: suplex, botch, repeat.
Oh my goodness. Oh damn. Our next match we got is Mr. It's My Yard Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal, the modern day Maharaja. What and who is going to win this one? Tommy, let's start with you, man. Modern day Maharaja.
It's going to be the modern day Maharaja. Fuck Roman Reigns, man. I have a plan. If I was writing for WWE, what I would do with Roman Reigns at this point in time, but I'm sick of him. It's time for the modern day Maharaja to get a victory because they brought him there to lose the belt, which made sense because, you know, he had the belt that was meant for SmackDown. Everybody hates Jinder. I love Jinder. Okay, I love Jinder. He's a jackass. He's a perfect heel.
Yeah.
He deserves to beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. I agree because Jinder does basically what he does. He goes out there, he pisses off the crowd, he brings heat to him. He does what a heel does. He does. In his promos, he just says the right thing, the crowd just boos him and stuff. And that he's perfect because I remember having a conversation with the WWE Hall of Famer Jimmy Hart and talking about Jinder Mahal, and I was like, I asked him, I said, would you agree or disagree with me that the fact that he goes out there, he gets heat on him, he gets the crowd to hate him, he riles them all up and everything, and honestly, Roman Reigns is actually Jinder's the face and Roman's the heel in this. You think about it, man.
Yeah.
Big Shaft.
Well, here's my take on this. So, we all know that Vince McMahon's 24-hour hard-on for Roman Reigns is going to ensure that Roman Reigns is going to, overcome the heel and, boost himself up to get another title shot. And I have a feeling they're going to have Reigns still go over him. I do like Jinder Mahal's character. I love the heel. I love he gets the heat. His character is good. His promo work is good. I'm just not the biggest fan on his wrestling style yet. I think he needs, some more moves that really just kind of boost the entertainment and the matches. But as far as gimmick and promo work, it's spot on. I would like to see a little less rest holds, sleeper holds and stuff. More give me a spine buster, give me something, some pretty big moves here to kind of help his heel out. But yeah, I think that Vince McMahon's gonna use his little hard on for Roman Reigns and give him the win. And unfortunately, it's just gonna make everyone hate him even more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
and it's a tricky match because
it is,
because they know the fans hate Roman Reigns and they know they boo him, but at the same time, you're going to take this heel character that you've been building and put him against Roman Reigns. It's creatively, it's a fucking nightmare. Okay,
yeah.
I mean, because now you're going to have your quote unquote heel Jinder Mahal being cheered by the fans instead of what you want to be your face. So after this match and this feud's over, then you have, is Jinder Mahal a face? Is he a heel? Is all this work he's put into being a heel just thrown out the window to be a face now?
Right.
They can't make him a face. They're both going to get booed. They're 100% both getting booed. They're going to have that moment where they're standing next to each other doing the punches. Boo, boo. And who's going to have the loudest boo? It's going to be Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. You're going to see Kevin Dunn in the production truck going, "Oh no, we got to turn up the cheers, man, for Roman." Yeah. The silver beaver. Yeah. Roman. I mean, we got to cheers.
Everybody loves Roman Reigns.
Yeah, Kevin Dunn's in the production truck going, like a little beaver. He is Vince's, right hand man, gnaws his ear off and stuff. But besides that, this is going to be, I totally agree. Who's going to get the loudest boos? Not the cheers, boos. I would be shocked if Chicago basically cheers the hell out of Jinder, because we saw it in the past. For example, let's say we had Batista versus Alberto Del Rio years ago. They cheered the hell out of Del Rio and booed the hell out of Batista. So there you go. Raw tag team title match. We have the B team versus Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy.
Oh, Jesus.
McShaft.
This right here just proves of how much of a shitty tag team division they have, to be honest. Okay? I mean, if you think about that battle royal they had last week, look at the teams that were on that. I mean, God, they're just literally throwing names in hats now and just trying to come up with something at this point. I think Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy are going to keep it. They're not going to give it to the B team. I tell you that. Those guys are stuck being jobbers forever.
Right.
So we can just forget their win. It's going to be a typical match. You're going to have Matt Hardy, kind of stumbling around the ring like he does, trying to do a twist of fate every 5 seconds. Bray Wyatt's going to, do his thing. And, where the B team's going to try to get some kind of pop out of the crowd, but they're not because, the whole Woken thing is so over. it's going to be literally just a giant clusterfuck, in my opinion.
Yeah. Tommy?
Yeah, I have to agree. This match should be on Raw. This match should not be on a pay-per-view.
Right.
It's a waste of time. It's obviously that Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy are going to keep the belts. We're going to get a wonderful. Everybody's going to clap, and that's it. The match it's pointless.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah. It definitely is. It definitely is because, Hardy and Wyatt, they're going to win and retain. They are. They definitely are. Now on the next tag team title match we have for SmackDown, we have the Club, Gallows and Anderson versus the Belgian. Or
the Bludgeon Brothers.
Or Bulgin or Belgian Brothers. Harper and Rowan. That's who they still are to me, man. They definitely are. I look at this as a quick squash match for the fact that they've built up the Harper and Rowan as an indestructible tag team. And this is a tag team that's a perfect example of what they should have did with the Ascension when they came over, when they were on SmackDown before they went to Raw. And therefore afterwards. And I love the Club, but I think
they don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
They really don't.
I think Harper and Rowan's going to dominate. They're going to dominate, and it's going to be a quick squash match. It is. What do you think, Tommy?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so sad to watch Gallows and Anderson, a great tag team that they are. Look what they did in Japan.
Yes.
It's pure beautiful. It's beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And damn it, like, what have you done, WWE? What have you done? I know you want to bury Bullet Club members, but why them? This is why the Young Bucks will not come to you, because you're burying talent.
Right.
And the Beluggeron brothers, or the Bulgarian brothers, or whatever the fuck they want to be called now, the Wyatt family, they're gonna win.
The Hammer brothers.
Anderson's going to take the fucking pin again. So, again, at least he got a hot Asian wife. That's all that matters.
Yeah, right? It's just a matter of time before their contract runs out and they go back to Japan. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe. They are getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's good. They're getting paid a lot of money. That's what Anderson said, because everybody's like, oh, you're wasting your time with WWE. And he was like, have you seen my paycheck? And it's like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sometimes the paycheck, money talks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in their career, the age that they're at, I mean, make the money before they can't wrestle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Something, I mean.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Gallows, then you can go back to being Festus, and then...
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. I still look at him like that.
But,
Now we got SmackDown Women's title match. We have Asuka versus Carmella. Now, Carmella has even admitted she can't wrestle, and we all know that. She can't wrestle. I'm just gonna have to say they better give it to Asuka. Yeah.
If you just look at the card of this pay-per-view so far, it pretty much just speaks for itself why they combine pay-per-views and why everyone's watching Independence instead of this.
Yeah. I know.
I mean,
I know. Asuka
headaches.
Headaches.
I hope Asuka wins, but you know how WWE is. They're gonna swerve and have Carmella somehow come out on top because they know that everyone hates her.
Yeah.
I mean, they're building the Charlotte versus Asuka for WrestleMania, so there's no sense in having her have the title now. After she's already suffered her first loss, in WWE. I think they'll give Asuka the title maybe in a few months or so, before WrestleMania. That's, maybe at the next Royal Rumble, have her do that. But no, I think Carmella's going to find some way to keep that title. She's going to go on another shitty feud with somebody else that really can't wrestle and just kind of, hold the belt until either SummerSlam or, say, Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Tommy?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that, actually, because Carmella is going to win, because in what was the point of her cashing in the Money in the Bank if she was going to lose it to Asuka literally the next pay-per-view after, beating Charlotte? She beat the great Charlotte Flair. So it's sad. Again, you're wasting a great talent like Asuka. Don't get me wrong. Carmella is a really good heel. She does a really good job. She can't wrestle for shit, but she's a really good freaking heel. And people hate her. I like to look at her. She has amazing legs. She's from Staten Island. I live 5-10 minutes from Staten Island. So, it's pretty cool. But honestly, yeah, Carmella needs to keep it for now. There would be no point of what they tried to build up for her to win that belt, with the Money in the Bank, to have her lose it to Asuka. And again, you waste pure talent in Asuka. But she's Japanese. WWE hates Japanese. We'll get into that very soon.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. And then we got the Raw Women's title match. We have Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax. They built this up, or made it to where, Nia, you're all happy that Nia was champion and stuff, and then they turned her into the person that she was totally against. They turned her into a bully. They did. They turned her into a bully, and then now you got Ronda Rousey. It's like it's horrible. It's horrible how they've turned her into this and stuff. And it's like they make it to where Nia made the point where, I could break the armbar. It's like, you could break Ronda Rousey's armbar.
Considering the fact she's tapped out like 6 times to arm bars in her career.
Yeah, she's tapped out the freaking Asuka, who put a damn arm bar on her, for God's sakes, right? What makes the difference that she's going to be able to break Ronda Rousey's arm bar? You see, WWE creative, dumbass, Tommy. Let's get your take on this.
This match, I will say, and this quote-unquote build-up of this match is the biggest waste of time and the dumbest people behind everything. God, these people are idiots. You build up Nia Jax. You gave her the title, which is, keep in mind, well deserved. She deserved it from the get. She should have won the Women's Royal Rumble, in my personal opinion. And you give her the belt. It's beautiful. She deserves it. She's such a great wrestler, as the size that she is. Don't get me wrong. She can move like a motherfucker. She kicked my ass. But she is going to retain, though, because I have a feeling that Stephanie's gonna get involved in this for some strange reason where it's like the corporate Rock when the Rock turned on Mick Foley, like when they had that match at the Survivor Series and then he went corporate. That's what's gonna happen with Nia Jax. Why give her the belt? She could lose it to Rousey. First off, look, let me say this really quick. Fuck Ronda Rousey, okay? Because you just come in, think you're just going to be able to fucking get a title match and win the belt. Go fuck yourself. There's people that have been busting their ass for all this time. Nia Jax is definitely one of them. Keep in mind, 100%. The fucked up part is you made her fight against a bully, and now she is a bully. So they need to go back and reread their scripts and say, we might have fucked this up.
Yeah.
In that case, keep it on Bliss. She's a good heel.
Yep.
Nia Jax is good at what she does, and she's hot too for a big chick. She's pretty hot.
My biggest thing about Rousey is, so you bring in this girl who's supposedly the baddest woman on the planet, but all she's done since she's debuted is come out smiling and coming out to like the worst ring music you could ever have for somebody who's supposed to be a badass, and then.
Hey, why are you knocking a bad reputation?
Oh no, I mean it's a good song, but you know what I'm saying? No, that's more of like a cheerful character, like not somebody who's supposed to be the baddest woman on the planet. You want something, like more like slower, heavier, like But the thing about it is, too, is the only reason she's getting a title match is because, and if she does win here, which I'm pretty sure she might, is because of her name, because of the fans that she draws and her name. Because Raw, WWE in general knows, ratings have been, iffy lately and stuff. They need something to get ratings back in. And the two things that WWE uses to get their ratings high, because they know the, fans back it, are the Hispanic audience and something like the women with Ronda Rousey, like a big name. Mm-hmm. So that's why they try to get Rey Mysterio back, because they lost Alberto Del Rio. The Hispanic audience, which is one of their hugest draws, was down. They try to get Rey Mysterio back,
Right.
I mean, they got Kalisto they've been using, and now if you look at the women's side of things, you got this big name that's known worldwide. You know, Ronda Rousey. I think the only reason she's going to win is because they're going to use that name to try to draw more fans in and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is. It is. Now this match, I'm looking forward to because I like both these guys, and I have to say, one of the guys has gotten over just because of his in-ring talent, because he's such a great in-ring performer. Talk about the Intercontinental Champion, Seth Rollins versus Elias. Man, I'd like to see Elias win his first championship. And I think these guys can have a really good rivalry. I mean, Elias is good as a heel. People cheer him, and then on a click of the dime, with the talent he has, he can make the crowd hate him and boo him. We see it every Monday night. And then Mr. Monday Night Rollins comes out there, and he gets the biggest pop, and he is so over. I think Rollins on Monday Night Raw is so much more over than he's ever been before because of his in-ring talent. And I'd like to see Elias get the title, and I'd like to see these guys try to go after each other, one with the title, one the other, and just go for it, man. What do you think, McShaft?
I think that they're going to put Elias over just because, of how much popularity he's gained with his gimmick. His wrestling is really good. I remember watching him on the Indies, and I was totally impressed with him. I do think, though, that they need to get a little more aggressive with his character. Like, since his focus is the drifter music, we need to see some, more guitar shots against his opponents. Show some more aggression and everything, kind of like Jeff Jarrett did back in the day. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'd love to see these two continue. I think Elias is going to come out on top right now in this match, and then I think they're going to have a nice, probably about a 3-month feud with these two for the title.
Yeah. What do you think, Tommy?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree to an extent. I actually think Rollins will retain. Right now, the way Rollins is going, I would keep the belt on him until we get to Brooklyn. Once we get to Brooklyn, then Elias should win it, because the Brooklyn crowd, I was there at SummerSlam when he was around, they went fucking ballistic for him. Don't get me wrong, I love me some Seth Rollins, but I want to walk with Elias. Man. And right now, it's their first match to get facing each other with the title on the line. Rollins needs to go over right now just to stay strong the way he is. And then we'll get another rematch, probably at the next pay-per-view. And then you can have Elias win the belt at SummerSlam. It'll mean a little bit more, and it probably would make the most sense of him doing it by smashing him in the head with a guitar. Because I agree, he needs to put a little more aggression to him. But that might be brewing up. Maybe after he loses this match, he's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to be a fucking asshole now. But I love his character. He's the fucking man.
It reminds me exactly how they did with Jeff Jarrett. If you remember, when he left WWF, he was a good heel, but he wasn't super aggressive. He gets into WCW, and he's, guitar shotting people left and right. He's showing more aggression in his ring work, and look what happened. I mean, the perfect heel character right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he even took celebrities out with his guitar, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Beetlejuice out, man.
Can you imagine if he cuts one of his song promos, and someone interrupts him, he just gets pissed off and hits him with a guitar? I mean, that'd be perfect.
Be great. Yeah, that definitely would be great. Now, we got the last man standing match with Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship.
You mean the last nutsack hanging match? That's how it's going to be. Freaking Sakamura over here is going to be nut shotting left and right.
Let's get your take on this first time. How do you collect yourself?
Okay. So, I am a huge fan of Nakamura. I've met him before. I've watched almost all of his matches since back in the day. I think he's possibly one of the best in-ring performers to date. And now AJ Styles obviously tops that. I am very upset and angry the way this feud is going. It is a waste of fucking time and a waste of fucking talent. I love the heel turn by Nakamura. It was well deserved, but you need to implement this heel turn correctly, and he needs to win this title. Now, I have, as you were saying, Sack Nakamura, I believe it was. What was that what you're calling him?
Sakamura. Yep.
Sakamura. Okay. I call him Ak Nakamura. So Ak Nakamura. You flow with it together. And don't get me wrong. When he hits people in the nuts, well, AJ Styles at least. The last time the match ended with that was probably the worst thing you could ever did in a no DQ match, is make him not get up for the 10 count. This match, if Nakamura does not win this match, then what was the point of turning him heel? You were wasting your time. I know they have plans with AJ, but Nakamura needs to win this match, or you're just. But like I said, the Japanese, they just don't want to use them. They're wasting their time in the long run. He's getting older, so you're fuck WWE, man.
Yeah.
Such a fucking great wrestler, and he's a great heel. He knows speak English. We know he speaks English. It's beautiful. I love it. He's such a great fucking wrestler.
This
and
feud,
a nice guy too. Really nice guy.
This feud proves that WWE can ruin even the greatest wet dream of every fan out there. Okay.
We've seen it. We've seen it was a 6-star fucking match. They put on a 6-star match.
And WWE literally turns it into like a fucking brown turd of a match.
It was embarrassing.
It was.
It should have been the main event.
At the grandest stage of all, too.
I'm so hyped. But the whole point is you wasted pure talent. But the heel turn made it better, because the match I was like, what the fuck did you do? The heel turn I was okay with.
Yeah.
You know, I was shocked, but I was like, all right, that's great. But then Backlash and it's funny when he kicks him in the nuts, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he does.
They have a counter, because what originally I thought they were gonna do was an Iron Man match, which personally, in my opinion, would have been way better.
Right.
And instead you would have had the AJ counter, the Nakamura counter, and then the nut counter. Just went bing, bing, bing. Probably I would count at least 6-7 nuts getting hit.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
I say that when we watch it, we drink every time somebody gets hit in the nuts.
Yes.
A bottle of Jack Daniels.
Actually, well, in light of things, we should either do Japanese sake every time that he hits him in the balls.
Yeah, we definitely would. Of course, you know.
They say every time that Nakamura. They say every time Nakamura kicks someone in the balls, that's just another possible title win for Roman Reigns.
Hey, that's not fair. I heard it's every time he does it, an angel gets their wings.
Yeah, but it's just
honestly. Let me throw my 2 cents in here. Okay, I think this feud's gone long enough, and I think Nakamura, they're going to give him the title. They're going to say, okay, it's like, let's see what he can do with it, and he's gonna get the title, and he's gonna run with it, and someone else is gonna step up. I don't know what they're gonna do with AJ. I'm thinking that, or AJ's gonna retain, and then they're gonna keep this feud going until Nakamura wins the title. I don't know. That's the way I see it, man.
I was disappointed that a match at WrestleMania, I actually canceled my network subscription after that.
A lot of people did, man.
I was thinking about doing it until he turned heel. Then I said, ooh, I'm interested now.
Yeah, I'm interested.
They caught me with the heel turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now we have our 2 last matches on this card. We got the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We got Ember Moon, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Natalya, Lana, Naomi, and Sasha Banks. Oh, I'm gonna start this off. I think that, honestly, out of the women, I think that the person they should give it to, I think the person that's going to win it, it's not going to be Ember Moon, which I'd love to see, but it's not going to be. Charlotte, she's going to be out having surgery on her, boob because of leakage from her implant.
She already had it.
She already did?
She's good to go.
Well, I feel sorry for her when she slams up against that damn ladder. But I think Sasha or Alexa or Becky. I'm leaning more towards Alexa Bliss winning it because the Money in the Bank, the briefcase, is more for a heel to win. And Alexa, she's going to go after that title. What do you think, Tommy? Your thoughts?
Okay, so personally, I think I would get in a lot of trouble if I don't say this because I said it on camera on our Instagram page. You can check it out at Second Rounds. I have to go with Ember Moon because I told her that I want her to win, and I hope that she wins. So I have to go with Ember Moon, or she's gonna kick my ass.
Yeah.
Or Mike Rome might hit me up and be like, you're an asshole because you lied. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ember Moon because I really want to see it happen. But if I had to really pick, I'm gonna pick Sasha Banks.
Good pick. McShaft?
I'm going to revert back to my previous match review with the Asuka Carmella. Charlotte Flair is going to win this. She's going to hold that briefcase until WrestleMania, where she's going to cash in on Asuka, who has the title. It's going to be just like it was at this past Royal Rumble. You're going to have, Asuka with the title, and Charlotte's going to come in after the Royal Rumble. She's going to, say, I'm cashing in on you.
Good point. Now, on the men's, okay, we got the men's ladder match. We have Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, The Miz, Rusev, Kevin Owens, Bobby Roode, and a member of the New Day, and Samoa Joe. Tommy?
Okay, first I think we should decide which member of the New Day it's going to be. I'm going to say it's Big E.
Okay, all right, let's go around and pick that. Okay, Big E, McShaft.
Just give me the same person they always have in the Money in the Bank, Kofi Kingston.
I'm going to have to go with Big E on this. And who's your pick, Tommy?
I'm going with Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe's taking it.
Nice. Good pick. McShaft?
God. I think it's going to be Bobby Roode. I think they're going to finally start pushing him into his glorious championship reign.
That's good.
He is glorious.
They've been very high on Bobby Roode since, coming up to the main roster and everything, by giving him the U.S. title. I think they're going to surprise everyone and give it to him and start his journey to the SmackDown title.
I would hope so in that case. I would hope so. I love Bobby Roode.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I'm going to have to go with The Miz. Okay? For the fact that The Miz was drafted over from SmackDown to Raw. Okay? He got drafted over. Now, the thing is, with The Miz being on SmackDown, you haven't really seen much with Daniel Bryan. Okay? I predict, this is just a long shot, I predict that The Miz is going to win Money in the Bank. He wins Money in the Bank. Daniel Bryan is going to go after the WWE Championship. He's going to go after whoever it is. If it's Shinsuke Nakamura or AJ Styles, he's going to go after him. And he's going to go and he's going to try to get that belt. When he's just about there, The Miz is basically going to demolish any dreams of him getting that belt. Now, if he does win the belt, and he's standing there just like we've seen in the past, he won the belt. Money in the Bank, cash in. The Miz cashes in on him, and then he takes the championship. Now you have a whole year up until WrestleMania for Daniel Bryan to get the title, the WWE Championship. What do you guys think?
So you're going to go with the Randy Orton feud?
Yes. Yes, with the Miz, man. Good story, because if you won't remember the Talking Smack segments when he was GM and stuff, The Miz cut damn good promos and stuff, and you know how The Miz feels about Daniel Bryan. And I love the fact that the reason why Miz was going back over to SmackDown was the fact that Daniel Bryan requested The Miz, because on social media, Daniel Bryan said, I cannot wait to punch him in the face. Perfect, yep. Man. It'd be perfect with these two,
See, I think that's why they're not going to have him win the match, because they're already going to invest so much in this long-running feud between them two that they're not going to waste a title match on it. It's going to be probably an opening or like a mid-card match for WrestleMania. The problem is what you got here in this match is a lot of talent that WWE just keeps dropping the ball on. Okay, Rusev, who's completely over with the crowd.
Yes.
They haven't done anything special with him in God knows how long, and they probably never will. The Miz, I mean, they're pretty much keeping him mid-card.
Mm-hmm.
Finn Balor, same thing. Awesome talent. The crowd's behind him, but yet they still haven't given him his rematch for the Universal title one-on-one. And honestly, it's because Vince McMahon, once again, doesn't like small guys, and Finn Balor is a small guy. Mm-hmm. And, with him being injured when he won the title, anybody that's injury-prone like that, that has a title and gets injured, they never really back them as well. Look at Sasha Banks,
Mm-hmm.
Look at, Daniel Bryan. You got Kevin Owens, who they don't know what the fuck they're doing with him right now. Such wasted talent. I mean, I have a feeling they're going to build toward him in a Sami Zayn match at WrestleMania, which is what everyone wants, but, we can only hope for it.
Right.
Samoa Joe, he's been hurt the past, he keeps coming back, getting injured, coming back, getting injured, so he's injury prone right there. They're not going to give it to him. And Strowman, he's already had his feud with Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. Lesnar's destroyed him 3 times. So, and they keep dropping the ball on him, too, as far as trying to give him the title.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Tommy?
Yeah. I mean, I have to agree to an extent on most of that. I am picking Samoa Joe. I think he really can utilize that right now because if the way WWE is going, and it's probably going to be the way they're going to go, having AJ beat Nakamura, I hope not, but Joe going after AJ would be a phenomenal match. We've seen it before in TNA, but it would be a phenomenal match. And Strowman, I love Braun Strowman. WWE is a bunch of assholes. Finn Balor, he's great. I love him. I'm mad that the Demon's not around, so fuck WWE for doing that.
Right.
The Miz is great. I mean, if I had to pick like a secondary guy that I would pick to probably win, it would probably be the Miz because it would make sense for him to hold that belt, and he can do wonders with that belt. Not the first when he had the belt the first time, it wasn't that great. This time he can actually make that belt really, really personal. Rusev, fuck WWE. They don't know what they're doing. Right. Kevin Owens, yet again, fuck WWE. They don't know what they're doing. I love Kevin Owens, and like McShack was saying, you're gonna get a Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens feud, which is fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I am too.
Maybe, maybe Jericho will show up. Maybe put them on the list again. We'll see.
Right.
Bobby Roode. Again, I love Bobby Roode. I don't know if I'd give him the Money in the Bank yet. They kind of shit his fucking title run. I think they gave it to him a little too fast, because he deserves better. He's the it factor. Give the man the fucking props he deserves. And again, he's a heel. Why is he a face? It doesn't make sense. How can he be a cocky son of a bitch and be a face? It doesn't make sense.
Because Vince realizes that everyone's cheering and singing his entrance song, and he's like, oh. Look at my face.
Cheer for Kevin Owens when Kevin Owens comes out. They're like, yes, we love Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
But you think about it, Bobby Roode's the perfect heel turn, just like Nakamura. The fans loved him, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's a heel like that.
Yeah. Here's something for you. Here's something.
You could turn him heel, and they'll still sing his song. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Heels get cheered. This is why wrestling is really shit nowadays, because heels are cheered. Back in the day when we were younger, we used to watch wrestling, and when Austin turned on The Rock, I still remember. I'll never forget that because it was one of the biggest moments ever in my life. When he joined Vince McMahon, people fucking hated him for that.
Yeah.
Nowadays they'd be like, yes, it's great. Like, no, hate the bad guy.
But remember what happened when he turned heel? Though we got the what. Remember?
Yes.
Exactly. I think the problem is that they work so hard on these heels that they come up with the catchiest stuff, and they have the best wrestling, the talent that people want to see, and they make these guys that really can't wrestle, and don't have the charisma the faces. Just because, he may have muscles or, you know what I'm saying? They don't listen to the crowd.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people say, at least I know a lot of wrestlers have said, being a heel is more fun because you have more of an open. You can say what you want to an extent. You can cheat. You can do all these crazy things, and all you got to do is make somebody hate you. Anybody, it's very easy to make people hate you. Elias does it perfectly.
Yeah. Elias does. He does it really perfectly. He definitely does. Now,
well, that's the perfect point.
Yeah.
You have someone like Rusev who is over with the fans. You know, he's not playing a heel gimmick. He's playing a good guy gimmick, and he's getting the pop for it. But then they'd rather push someone like Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Now, we've talked about both these pay-per-views, NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 and Money in the Bank. Now, guys, I'll start this off. This next Saturday, or this coming Saturday and Sunday, with this recording, okay, I'm looking forward to NXT. Of course, you see the shirt, you know. Tommy, which pay-per-view you looking forward to more?
NXT. Always.
McShaft?
NXT all the way. And unfortunately, even as good as NXT is, New Japan's probably going to be on par or even a little bit better.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys for doing this with me. And I do want to thank our guest, Tommy, man, for bringing this up because I appreciate you contacted me and saying, hey, man, you know, you do the prediction show. I actually haven't done one in a while. When's the last week? It's been a while since we've done one, McShaft. Like
last pay-per-view.
Last pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Backlash.
Yeah.
It was briefly went over, but like actually getting down and in depth.
Remember I called it Ass Clash because it can be so bad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. We briefly were like, nah, that's it. But actually having a pay-per-view, a couple of pay-per-views, and actually dissect and talk about it and give our thoughts of it is really good and stuff. So, I want to ask Mr. So Smooth, Tommy James, because you're so smooth.
So smooth.
What can people expect out of the Florida edition of second rounds? What's going on? Can you give any updates and what people should expect out of second rounds on the Podcasting Network?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, we're going to be bringing we're not actually recording this week. We're taking a break. My parents are coming to visit from New York. So my mom already told me, she made sure to call me, said, don't you dare do a fucking podcast when I'm there because I want to spend time with you. I haven't seen you in so many months. So, yeah, I will be taking a break. And I know Eddie, Big Money Eddie, shout out to Big Money Eddie, and shout out to Ashley Stash Box, of course. Big Money's going to Washington, so he's taking a vacation. So we're going to take a break ourselves. But we're gearing up for another Who You Got challenge. We're getting ready and prepared. We don't know when it's going to be yet. But the one thing we are talking about is doing the huge crossover, which is going to be the Florida edition, the NYC edition, the Everett Lee show, and a possible question mark up in the air to who's going to be the next show. I know we were discussing Super Radio Brothers probably being that second one. But again, it's up in the air. We don't know until somebody finally agrees to do it. But that we will not have a belt on the line. It's just going to be bragging rights for now. But I will say that, you know, we did our Who You Got challenge at MegaCon. Uncanny Mike did pull it off. So the Cosmic Ghost Rider did pull it off. And Everett Lee, you were there for that conference.
Yes.
So you got to see how we do it, break it down the way it was. And sadly, Mike, you know, he fucking won. So Amber Moon and Mike Rome both picked Dr. Lord Zedfate. So I think that was pretty badass. I had the guy that dressed up like the Gold Jaguar, Michael B. Jordan, so you got a drink for that. He picked the mask, so I was really happy about that. But right now we're just gaining up on, we're thinking of new things to do. Obviously, everybody knows that's our Who You Got challenge is our biggest thing. And we need to pick a con to go to next to do it. So we'll figure it out and get prepared, because if in that case, we got to start drafting as soon as possible. And keep in mind, the New York City edition, their Who You Got challenge is going to be at Eternal Con in Long Island, in New York City.
and I believe it is the first week of July. And next week, they're going to be Mr. Malavi is going to be doing his conference, and he has the broken Matt Hardy because I picked it for him. It was great. Can't wait.
Awesome. Now, where can people find more of Second Round's New York edition and Florida edition podcast?
Well, it's pretty simple. You can go to podcastcity.net, obviously. And, of course, you can go to Podbean. You can go to iTunes, Google Play. You go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all 2 ND rounds. That's 2 ND rounds. Don't write second. You're not going to find us. 2 ND rounds. And we're pretty much everywhere. If you guys know, we really are huge with our Instagram page. That would, I'd say, our biggest thing is our Instagram page. Yes. But you got obviously the Facebook page, but definitely check it out because you got to check out the Florida edition, you got to check out the New York City edition, and of course the Phoenix Gate. You got to shout out to the Phoenix Gate. Shout out to Jade, of course, and I hope she gets the ball rolling. I'm excited to see where her future will end up. We hope.
Yes. Thank you for coming on, McShaft. I want to thank you for coming on and.
I have one more thing I'd like to say.
Yes.
When you do the predictions for SummerSlam and for Brooklyn TakeOver, you're getting the Brooklyn guy on it, right?
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. Why?
I'm from Brooklyn. I need to be on that show.
Yeah. Why would I not? Why would I not have a guy from New York as yourself on the show, man, on the podcast?
I just hope because of the amount of WWE you watch, you just don't, start taking on their bad habits and just dropping the ball on stuff.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Yeah. There you go.
Damn!
Yep. Gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for coming on and doing this. You could check more of the Everett Lee Show out on Facebook.com/The Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up, and also on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter at the Everett Lower Score Lee. And of course, head over to podcastcity.net, the official website and host of the Everett Lee Show, and many, many, much more podcasts, such as Second Rounds Podcast New York and Florida Edition. Coming soon, we got Bear Claw Survival with McShaft here. And we got the Deleted Wrestling Podcast coming soon, too. A retro take on wrestling, classic wrestling rivalries and matches, and much, much more. We also got the Chris Carnage Show. And, as mentioned before, the Super Radio Brothers, Rich, Mark, and Ben. Shout out to them. Imaginarium with Scott and Todd. Shout out to them. And, of course, our other indie wrestling podcast, Wrestle Popcast with Robin Nelson, and Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast with David C. Russell, and Paranormal Files 13, hosted by Wrestle Podcast host Robin Nelson. Have a good week. We'll see you again next week for the Everett Lee Show.